You talking Bryce? You don't know. I don't mind telling you again. I'm from Arkansas. Mitchell, man.
I just think at this point, I think both of the Dawkins brothers fucking stink. I don't think either one.
Big dog. You feel me? Yuri want to go. He already trying to fight him on the way back to the locker room.
It's the return of Darren Till at middleweight to fight.
Let him in, passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been.
What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. This is the Fight Club. First Rule of Fight Club, as always, go down, like, and subscribe. Drop a comment of your favorite fight and who you think is winning. And second club of Fight Clubs, if you didn't do any of that, to go fuck yourself. As always, these is Paul, Pick 'em, Win 'em, Concha, and I'm joined with...
Hey, man, watch me take a bite out my motherfucking sandwich for everybody watching us on YouTube right now, because your boy Kev, Water Boy's boy, and we going to be doing some big eating. It's UFC 282, man. Now, I'm not going to lie, my dog, Jiri is hurt right now, so he couldn't make this fight. But to be that real, you know, to say, I'm not going to hold up the division, which a lot of people wouldn't say, and I'm not saying, like, it's wrong to hold up the division. It's just
I'm not saying Nagano or nothing.
Hey, you're not going to talk about my dog like that. But, motherfucking, we got, how you say his name? Blachowicz?
Jan Blachowicz
and Ankalaev. And we got a couple more hitters on here. I don't think this is a stacked every card, but there's enough hitters on here to really make this a problem.
And then Robbie Lawler injury or couldn't make weight or something, but he had to pull out. Morano is going to fill in for him for the Prozimbio fight. But we still got Darren Till on here, Paddy the Baddie, Bryce Mitchell, Taporia, Raul Rosas Jr.'s UFC debut at only 18 years old. They already a featured prelim. Like, that's already good to stack. And as always, if you're listening, pour up, spark up, and enjoy what's about to come. Where you want to start?
No, why I'm wearing the shirt.
Why are you wearing the shirt, Kev?
Because I could not find it for UFC Orlando last week. Because, you know, Orlando has a Space Center. Ooh. So, like, that was going to be one of my things. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to space, blah, blah, blah.
To the moon.
Fuck it. We got lost in space. And we pulled up on UFC 280, man. 282. And I'm not going to lie to you, Paul. I don't care what anybody says. This is going to be a great card. I feel like a lot of finishes are coming.
Oh, I hope so. With the way these people are, like, fuck it. Let's just hop in it. You want to start on the prelims here?
We gotta start some prelim talk because there's a couple of prelims on watch, like my dog Joaquin Buckley.
That's actually where I was about to start off with is Joaquin Buckley.
I might go pull up and watch him because I still haven't seen him win yet. I want to see my dog get a dub.
Well, this is gonna be an electric fight because Joaquin Buckley, we know anything about him, southpaw performer, got bricks for hands, he's fucking built. And then first is Chris Curtis, who we saw at UFC London 2, and he fought Jack Hermanson, and he was the one that flicked off Jack Hermanson in the middle of the fight. And they had some words back and forth. And he was actually the co-main event of UFC London 2, where Paddy was on the main card. Now Paddy's the co-main event, and he's on the prelims. And he had a funny ass reaction to that. He was like, "Man, how do I go from co-main event to prelims?" And then he was like, "Wait, hold on. I was co-main event in Paddy's backyard. Never mind, Paddy. You got it. You should. This is karma or whatever. Like, this is all fair."
Nigga gangster, man.
Yeah, so these are two great personalities. They're just gonna have fun in this fight. But Joaquin Buckley minus 165, Chris Curtis plus 140. Should be a good fight. How do you feel this one?
Taking my dog Joaquin Buckley, definitely. But if I was a betting man, I would definitely take Chris Curtis plus 140 just off the fact that, this fight can go either way.
Yeah, I'm rocking the plus 140 underdog Chris Curtis. I was actually shocked he was the underdog. I know they're both coming off losses, but I feel like Chris Curtis has fought some of the better competition. And like you said, it's a 50-50 fight. So I'm going to lean towards the guy who's at plus odds.
No, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even like the dude that beat Joaquin Buckley last. I didn't think he wasn't all that. But I'm rooting for my dog, man. I want to see him get a dub this week.
Our next fight, we got Josine Rosenstruck, a.k.a. Mini Francis, as I like to call him. And then versus Christopher Dawkins. His brother got beat up last week at UFC Orlando, so maybe he gets a little bit of the revenge here. How do you like it, Kev?
I did not like Dawkins in that fight against Curtis Blades. Don't get me wrong. Blades is that dude. But I really did not like how Doctors was getting whooped. On the stand up. All week people tell me Curtis Blades, wrestler. Curtis Blades, he's gonna drop. Curtis Blades, he's gonna get you to the ground. And I'm watching him throw hands. I'm like, oh. You might have to recheck that. But oh no, man. Tell me more about their fighting styles. How did you people compare?
Dawkins is I mean, he was what people thought was decent on the feet, but his resume, he's beat Olenek and Shamnarokov, or I can never say his name correctly, apologize, but he's beat both of them. They're both in their 40s. They both have like over 30 fights in the UFC, and like people give him some credit for that. But then since then, like he hasn't really beaten anybody, and I feel like Rosenstruck is just one of those people that you got to be good to beat him. Like he's only ever lost to like Gone, Blades, fucking Francis, Derek Lewis, and in the Derek Lewis fight, I felt like he was winning before he got knocked out. But like, so I like Rosenstrike in this fight, especially if Blades looked like a boxer against him. Rosenstrike's probably gonna knock his ass out in a similar fashion. And I just think at this point, I think both of the Dawkins brothers fucking stink. I don't think either one of them need to be in the UFC right now.
And what do you think the boys just here to collect checks right now?
I mean, he's only 12-5, but it's not like he's young. Like maybe he is young, but when I look at him, he looks old as shit.
I respect it. No cap. You know what's crazy right now? Before I got my pick, the recap dropped 2 hours ago, so it's popped up on my screen, and I'm just looking at myself with the thing, with my suit on, just like I'm just thinking about how good I did on the picks that week. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the man with a plan.
Carried over this week. I will say on the stats, Rosenstrike 2.8 significant strikes per minute to Dawkins is 6.5. So like on paper, like I said, Doc is on paper coming into the Blades fight. I was like, he should win the stand up, but Blades is gonna take him to the ground. So maybe we see the reason why some people believe in Dawkins this fight, but I don't believe. So I'm rocking with my mini Francis Rosenstruck.
Dawkins is a favorite.
Underdog plus 145.
I didn't take the last underdog, so I'll take this underdog. Now I really like Rosenstrike. I'm capping, but I'm gonna take this underdog on this one.
All right, let's see. And then heavyweight, the heavyweights has been fucking fun all year. So every heavyweight fight I think has yet to disappoint, except for the Aspinall injury. But like you can't always expect that. On to our next fight, we have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Jay Perrin. And Raul Rosas Jr. just turned 18 last month, October. I believe the youngest fighter on the UFC card. He was 17 when he was on the Contender Series where he won and was already 6-0 at 17 years old. And now he's 18 and he's going to be the featured prelim on UFC 282. So before we even make our picks, that's just insane to think. Like he was born in 2004 and here he is.
That's fucking insane. My brother was born in 2004. But you forgot to mention the most important thing, bro. My dog is a Mexicano.
Yeah, it's Mexican. I thought some people could tell. Rosas? I thought that shit was white.
I don't know. It could have been Cubano. You know them niggas be switching up.
Yeah.
But nah, man, this is gonna be a good fight because I finally get to see, bro. Because I seen a mean ass play of this motherfucker. Well, a mean ass clip of him fucking up some dude, and he did like a fake knee, like he threw his knee up in the air. What the other one right there? He said, and then closed the distance on bro. And then on his way down, he went for a shot. And I was like, and me coming from a high school wrestling background, like chain wrestling is all you live for. So like to see somebody that can put those many moves together, because you know how I love Kobe just because he can punch and shoot at the same time. So to see somebody to put that many moves together at that young age, you can literally refine the craft of what you get good at, lose, get back, right? Like there's so many things that he can do. I just want to watch his career, and I can say that started right here at 282.
Bantamweight got another hitter.
That's crazy.
Another hitter.
He's young. Like he can really win, run into Max Holloway, run into somebody crazy that's probably like trying that's older now but still trying to get right. Run into one of them, and then motherfucking
straight to the top.
Yeah, like it's a wrap.
Yeah, and So both fighters here, Jay Perrin, we haven't talked much on him, but they're both switch stance fighters. But like Rosas is just a great. You said the chain wrestling, his groundwork, him able to get you to the ground is one thing where he already looks like he's super high level at, but his they're able to submit you. Like he's not just looking to get you to the ground and ground and pound. Like he's averaging one submission per fight, and it usually only takes his one. So like really the it's all up for him from here, and he looks like the guy with the mentality of like I just want to fight. Like yeah, he wants the money and everything that comes with it, but he seems like the guy who's hungry. You know, there's a young, hungry fighter.
Damn, Bantamweight got another hitter. God damn.
Bantamweight, he's so young. His picture's not even on the UFC. Like I'm looking at UFC 282 on my computer. He don't even have a fucking picture. He don't even have an icon. It's just a blank ass screen.
Wait, so Bantamweight, I think I got that wrong. That's not Max Holloway, boys. That's Aljamain Sterling, right?
Yeah, that's Sterling. I was letting you go, but yeah, that's Sterling in them. But that's your favorite division.
Yeah, that is my favorite division. So like, damn. So you tell me that might be my favorite fighter one day.
Very potent. I mean, Sugar Sean's in the division. Peter Yan, like Ricky Simone, Jack Shore. He still has to go through some hitters. Umar Nurmagomedov is in there.
Yeah, don't worry, he gonna make it to the top. He on his Luffy shit. El Mexicano.
That's what he looks like. Fucking Luffy. That's
what you gonna call him, Luffy. Monkey D. What's his first name again?
Raul.
Monkey D. Raul.
Well, I'm rocking with Raul.
Gotta pick my dog Raul.
Minus 230, one of the biggest favorites on the card. But we had to hit on this prelims because they're fucking stacks. Even coming for the early prelims, you got Tim Brown, Billy Quarantillo, Aaron Hernandez, Daniel Da Silva. All great fight. They would be either on a main card or a fucking prelim if it wasn't the 282 right now.
So, question, right? So, before we get into the main event, before we get into the main card, how the fuck do the money lines work in UFC? Because, like, most of them be close. They be in the hundreds. When we watching football, I be seeing like 300s, 400s.
Yeah, like even last week, it was like a minus 600, or not last week, the week before when it was like the minus, like 14-point spreads. Yeah, they're usually close 140 to plus one, like anywhere from minus 105 all the way up to like plus 200. But like Rosas is a big favorite going into this fight, and he's minus 230. Perrin's plus 190. So like to a lot of people, like if you're comparing it to football, the money lines are a lot closer because it is anything. Someone might land a punch and anything might happen. But it's usually that's why I would, like when boxing and UFC, if I see like a minus 500 or a minus 8, like RDA was minus like 700 in his last fight. Like I was just like, holy shit! Like that's like you're telling me like you're guaranteeing this motherfucker's gonna come in and whoop his ass and get out basically.
No cap. That's
I mean, RDA did do that. He definitely showed up like a minus 700 fighter last week.
Hey, but that's RDA for you.
Like right here, the biggest, we have a minus 300 coming up, and that's the main event. So like that's pretty big in fighting odds.
And it's crazy because like in football, they really are big on those spreads. So like in UFC, you don't hear that shit. So I don't be knowing who's the better one, like who's everybody's expecting. I just be looking at their fight styles.
Yeah, and the only spread really in the fighting is the over/under on the rounds.
Okay.
On to the main card where we got 5 great fights. First one we got to talk Bryce Mitchell versus Ilia Topuria. Bryce Mitchell plus 120 underdog, 15-1 against 12-0 Topuria, minus 140 on the money line, and both of them are really shooting to the top in this featherweight division. Like you don't get this in other sports where you see two young people who could be contenders for belts fight so young in their career.
No, damn, that's fine. And that's gonna be a good fight. People gonna start hating on this card, but I forget. But you introduced him incorrectly, Kawul. You talking Bryce? If you don't know, I don't mind telling you again. I'm from Arkansas. Mitchell, man, my dog, the second person to ever hit the twister, and they go, "Oh, come on, man."
You was talking about that Bryce Mitchell?
No, I don't got no Arkansas camo, but I got a million motherfucking military camos in this motherfucker.
I gotta wear it like this. He thug nasty. I forget.
Come on, man. My boy, I still think it's gangster. He looked it on Reebok. He said, Reebok. if y'all don't get me some camo shorts, I was like, oh shit, this nigga a problem.
And he dropping music, bro. You didn't hear his rap song?
He does not have a rap.
Thug Nasty. That's his name. That's his moniker, bro. Thug Nasty, bro. And I'm not gonna lie. He fed the streets some heat.
Oh, I'm shook. Don't let me find out my dog can spit for real.
But hey, remember, he was spit. I'm gonna send you the link after this, bro. I wouldn't be shocked he walked out to his own song.
I be thinking you can't get no more gangster, but then he gets more and more gangster. Like, it's crazy. I fuck with dude along with future champ. What weight class is he?
Featherweight. He's in the Holloway and them boys.
Yeah, tell Volk we got somebody for him soon.
So I wonder who you're gonna pick, Kev. Are you riding with your boy Bryce Mitchell, or is Topuria caught your eye here?
I'm telling you, every show I watched today, every highlight reel, even they all brought him up like he's not no slouch type shit. Like, every time I had something to do, Topuria, I'm on the phone. I gotta use the bathroom. Topuria, mute, mute. Like, what the fuck? I gotta go. I had to go walk my cat while they was talking about Topuria one at a time. But I couldn't tell you shit about Topuria. But Bryce Mitchell is nice. The way that he his stand up is straight, and the fact that he can defend himself on the ground. How many submissions does he have altogether?
Mitchell?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. He has 15-1, and out of his 15 wins, 9 of them come via submission.
That's insane. That's genuine. That's some real Charles Oliveira shit, damn near. Like, motherfuckers working on being up there in the submissions. He's the second person ever hit a twister. And like, he's from Arkansas. Like, there's nothing out there. There are no crazy.
He trains in the farms. He doesn't go to no gym. He trains at his farm.
He literally built this shit with his hands too. Like, this motherfucker is the truth. He's a thug, nasty motherfucker. Like, it's just like that badass motherfucker belt. Like, if it wasn't so played out, I would say they'd have to give it to my boy right here, because that's a badass motherfucker.
See, I want to ride Mitchell for because I fuck with my dude the long way, but I'm riding with Topuria because Topuria I think can win the ground exchanges. I mean, Topuria has 7 submissions on his 12 wins. Only one fight he's ever went to the decision, so he usually finishes fights. And his only fight that went to decision was his UFC debut. So, like, since then, 3 straight knockouts, first and second round. He's been active. Where I know Mitchell fought this year also, but he hasn't fought in a minute. Like, his fight was a while back, whereas Topuria was just on the Volkov Aspinall card earlier this year, I think in March. And this is another coin flip fight, because you're really just picking who you think can win those ground exchanges, because they both excel at them, and no one really knows who is the better ground fighter. So, like, it could come in and Mitchell just like raw dogs that motherfucker, and he's winning all the ground exchanges, or maybe Topuria. That's why it's gonna be like that. Zaryukian versus I can't remember the other guy's name, but Zaryukian, that one fight where they were just straight up wrestling for fucking 5 straight rounds.
Wasn't the dude that just lost?
Yeah, the dude who did. Yeah, the one who just lost on the pay-per-view a couple weeks back.
Barbarena.
No, not Barbarena. I'll get his name later. But again, this is gonna be a real good ass fight. I'm just gonna go someone separate from you so we can keep the separate picks. But just know, if Bryce wins, I will be lit with y'all boys.
I'm finna go take a shot. This man Paul just disagreed on. He didn't root for Bryce. Thug nasty.
Hey, and Thug did just beat up Barbosa, and Barbosa, he was outstriking Barbosa on the feet. So maybe Bryce Mitchell is this legitimately that dude.
Hey, bro. There's some hitters in featherweight too now. And then after this, you think he gets a ranked opponent?
I think Topuria is ranked, but I think he's like 15th. I think he's barely in the rankings.
Ooh, so niggas is dang. I feel like that's a good target on his back. Like, he's number 15. Everybody wants everybody feels like they need to get to his spot first. So my boy Thug Nasty gonna come through and say, "Now I'm 15."
We gotta see though, because again, featherweight's another one of those stacked ass divisions.
Crazy. What's Paddy?
Paddy's weight. Paddy's a lightweight. He had 155. Next fight is the return of Darren Till at middleweight to fight Drexus Duplexis, which should turn out to be because they're both the stand-up fighters. I know Darren Till can go to the ground, but he's not really a ground fighter, and we haven't seen him in forever. He was the original Scouser. Before Paddy, it was Darren Till out of Liverpool, and he was, I'm not afraid to get knocked out. I'll fight anybody, and he really would fight like that. And that was when he was at his most dominating time. Then he got knocked out by Jorge Masvidal, I believe, and then he went on like then he got submitted by Derek Brunson in his last fight. Like he was on a losing streak, and he just hasn't looked the same since. He took a year and a half off to get his mind right. He said that he was legitimately afraid of getting knocked out again. And that's so crazy because he has one of the most famous mics ever when he was like, I'm not afraid to get knocked out moment. So for him to even say that, but now he says that he's overcome that and he's ready to fight again. Drexus Duplessis, though, he's coming off, he fought Brad Tavares back at the Adesanya Cannonier fight. And it was he went gladiator mode to start, just put the hands on him and was just like pumping up the crowd with it while doing it. So this is going to be another good ass fight.
No cap, I was going to say, I remember Duplessis. Duplessis is a problem. But
he long as shit, too.
Darren Till is interesting. I want to see what Brad's really about. And just off the fact, because he's something like him and Dan Hooker were two really respected motherfuckers. Like when I first got into this when I first getting into this UFC shit, I'm really seeing like they really got talked about a lot, but I've never seen them fight. Well, I've seen Dan Hooker now, but
let me see. Oh, so this is his run when he came into UFC. Darren Till 6-0 entering the UFC. He beat Nicholas Dalby, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, knocked out Cowboy in the first round. Beat Wonder Boy Thompson in the. These are both main events where he knocked out Cowboy, and then he beat Stephen Thompson in a 5-rounder by unanimous decision to fight Tyron Woodley for the belt. He lost via submission to Woodley. Woodley is a great wrestler. He got him on the ground. Then he gets knocked out by Masvidal. He gets a split decision win over Kelvin Gastelum, loses to Whitaker, gets submitted by Brunson. We haven't seen him since 2021.
So usually I'm the first to scream, you don't get better by not doing something. But we just watched Stephen Wonderboy Thompson put out in the clinic. And don't get me wrong, you can say Kevin Holland's hand is broken. But Stephen Wonderboy, he looked fucking great.
He did.
Awesome. So I'm not going to say that this week. But I'm going against Darren Till because Duplessis is awesome. I smoked too much, so I can't remember what he did to Brandon last fight. But he was really doing them.
Gladiator, and he just be throwing them, that's hyping up the crowd. But I'm taking Darren Till as the underdog here, just because Duplessis did do that to Tavares, but Tavares was like 6 inches shorter than him, 5 inches shorter on reach, whereas Darren Till can line up with him a lot better in height and reach. And I just think Darren, like where Duplessis is more of like a throwing volume and they get into points and like hurting you, Darren Till's like Wonder Boy, where he's more calculated and he's refined. He's a refined kickboxer. So I just think he's gonna be winning those exchanges. Might even but Duplessis doesn't seem like the guy to get knocked out. So I think it'd be like Till by decision.
I'm literally, he just popped up on my screen. I'm watching him better. This man is doing yoga right now. He might be a problem.
He's channeling his inner Jiri.
Oh my gosh. And
then our next fight, it was supposed to be Robbie Lawler. He pulled out. We have Santiago Prozimbo versus Alex Morano. Prozimbo is the favorite, -180. Morano +155. It is really a very similar fight. Both stand-up fighters. Both like to throw volume. Both pretty refined. Both took losses. Have a lot of fights under their belt. It's another really good pick 'em here. I'm kind of leaning toward Prozimbo because I haven't seen much of Morano, but I've seen Prozimbo fight and he's a dog. Like the boy does like, I know he lost. Both of his last fights were split decision losses, and one was to Michael Pierre, another one to Geoff Neal. Both really good fighters also. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Prozimbo. Like he's been close in all his fights. So like I can't count those losses. I think he won one of those fights, but I think this is time for him to right his wrong, especially with a late fill-in fighter. You never know how these could go, but I usually go with the guy who's been training for 6 to 8 weeks.
So he was supposed. This is the fight Robbie Lawler was supposed to go in.
Yeah.
Would you have took Robbie Lawler if Robbie Lawler was the one fighting here? Because he didn't look bad. Robbie Lawler won his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah. I probably would have took Robbie Lawler just because I think I doubted Robbie Lawler last fight and he proved me wrong, and I was so now I'm like, okay, I'll fuck with you again.
We back on good terms now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you on Pimblett just because I want to see what these dudes got going on. I don't know nothing about him. Where's Morano from?
He's an American, but I'm not sure what his nationality is, but I know he's from America. Trying to see real quick for you. I'm trying to see who his last opponents were also. He beat Smellsberger, an ambition. Oh yeah, he beat Cowboy in the first round last year, knockout. Sawanda, Gall. He hasn't really fought much high caliber opponents, whereas Prozimbo, he lost to our boy Ling Jiang in the knockout. He knocked out Neil Magny. He lost to Geoff Neal split decision. Like he's fought high caliber opponents. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards him.
I'm respecting him. He knocked out Neil Magny.
Yeah, that doesn't come easy. On to the co-main event here. I wish I had the wig. Paddy the Baddy versus Jared Gordon here. Paddy the Baddy minus 260. Jared Gordon plus 210. Man, we just can't get enough of Paddy the Baddy. How do you feel here?
Man, you know those wigs are going up in price. If he wins again, those wigs are going up in price. Motherfucking. Oh man, this is supposed to be a good fight just because Paddy's nice. He's getting an up and ranking competition. I feel like after this is when he fights a ranked fighter next. And Josh Gordon is not terrible. Like he wasn't telling us. They was telling us his story about how he overdosed and did all this shit, and like was going through it with drugs and shit like that. You know how he got raped and everything. So I was like, because I'm a firm believer UFC is a poor man's sport. Like whoever remembers where they got to go sleep at that night. Usually is the one that's gonna win. Like Paeta,
dig deeper.
Paeta didn't want to go back to the motherfucking Brazil. Brazil not a champion, man. So he came left with that motherfucking belt. Same thing with motherfucking Leon Edwards. So I'm not saying them niggas is them, but I'm just saying when somebody has a will, they can manifest that. So that's what really fucked me up with this fight because Josh Gordon isn't no slouch either. But I love me some Paddy the Baddy. Great striker. He has sneaky judos, and then he can always catch you in a submission like that. Standing on some, I don't know what do you call it, bro? What do you call it? They call it last Brian. I was ready for it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, black belt at judo, black belt BJJ. Decent. The one thing that kind of he got rocked in his UFC debut, and people were like, "Yeah, his chin is too high. He doesn't tuck his chin. He throws wild shots, but he's slowly, I think, getting better with his striking." Where Jared Gordon, we've seen him get submitted once already, or last year, or was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier. He fought on the Rob Font card. But yeah, he got submitted earlier this year. He's coming off a win against Leonardo Santos, but I just styles make fights, and like if Paddy gets him to the ground, which I think he will, I think Paddy's gonna be able to submit him. But if Paddy goes in there trying to show out for the fans, because he knows that everyone knows that boy loves his fans, he could get caught with a heavy one. Because Jared Gordon we've seen him knock people out before. So it's not like he doesn't have heavy hands. Like he can put some pressure on you if you're just trying to swing with him.
We gonna see. How do you think this? Do you think this is gonna be like a second, third round submission? How do you think this fight could really go?
I think it depends on how Jared Gordon also, because if Gordon comes out and he can't stop the takedowns, it could be like a first, second round finish submission. But if he's stuffing some takedowns and because Paddy's slowly getting tougher competition. And we got to see how he responds to this tougher. Like now, if he can't take him down, we got to see Paddy do something else. I see either a late round submission, like third. My bet would be like third round finish, a third round submission by Paddy, or Paddy to win by points. But it could turn bad though, because if he doesn't get him down and Jared Gordon's winning the first and second round, because it doesn't look good when you're shooting like 7 to 8 takedowns and you can't get them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Jared Gordon is the truth, and I really would pick him. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially since we've been off on every pick. I would pick him, but I like Paddy. I think Paddy can get submissions, set up submissions in some very strange situations. Like he just needs to have the right placement. So I just trust Paddy a little bit more on this fight. But I really could see Jared Gordon keeping on the feet and working Paddy for 2 rounds, and then just Paddy just looking crazy, frantic for the third. But they're coming in to knock each other out though. Like Paddy's not coming in for this decision. So I think if he comes in too hot, he can get humbled, slow down, and then really get right.
All right, so we're both rocking Paddy here. On to the main event. Well, this was co-main event, which turned into main event. And now for the vacant light heavyweight title, Jan Blachowicz versus Megomed Ankalaev. Jan 29-9, Megomed Ankalaev 18-1. Megomed's the favorite, minus 300. Jan plus 240. How we feeling here, Kev?
Yeah, he's Polish power, uncontrollable, former champ, big dog.
Big dog.
Big dog, you feel me? Jiri won the belt. He already trying to fight him on the way back to the locker room.
He was right there in the stands waiting.
Jiri blew a kiss at him, but he was ready. He was ready for war. You feel me? And the only fight I seen him fight, he fought who was it that broke there? Didn't somebody get hurt fighting him?
Alexander Rocket.
Yeah, bro got hurt. So I haven't really seen too much from him, but he's a dog. But on the other hand, though, my boy Ankalaev, 18-1. How many knockouts?
Oh, let me see real quick. For some reason, won't let me click on his profile.
That's how secret he is. You talking Dagestan, Russia?
10 KOs on those 18 wins. His one loss is a submission to Paul Craig, where he was winning before he tried to mount Paul Craig, and Paul Craig reversed him and submitted his ass.
Paul Craig doing Paul Craig things. But Ankalaev is a problem for everybody in this division, in my opinion. Like, he's sharp, strong, fast.
He is refined. I love Megomed. I thought he would be fine for the belt. I didn't think it would come this soon. There's some injuries that had happened for him to get here. But his biggest gaping hole, in my opinion, is just we haven't seen him on his back. We've never seen him actually get taken down, held down. And it's because they usually put him up against either someone so far in competition below him that it's just a first round finish, or is against somebody who doesn't usually, like Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos, remember that fight? Thiago Santos was shooting the takedowns, was getting takedowns. Megomed is able to get back up, and Thiago Santos is a striker, pure striker, like never. So Jan is way better wrestler than him. So like, I think Megomed can win. He's the better striker, but like his only two, like the fight before that, Ozadamar, kickboxer. He won in a Nikolov Kryov, striker. Like he fought in strikers. Now Anthony Smith was he can do it all, but Anthony Smith also broke his leg in the first round and had to fight off his back, and the fight got called in the second round. So we never really got to see him go up against that. So this is gonna kind of odd because I think Jan, as this big of an underdog, I like Jan because if Jan comes in with the game plan of like, hey, Thiago Santos was able to take this guy down, I'm way better at wrestling than him. Like all you gotta do is do what I did to Izzy to him, and Izzy I think is a way better kickboxer than Megomed. So it's a game plan. It's a game plan we've seen before that he's taken, and I think we might see it again. And at plus 240, I really like Jan here, even though I'm a huge Ankalaev fan, and styles make fights. And if Jan really comes in with that game plan, I think he's gonna win. But maybe Megomed's been working on that. I don't know.
Damn, why'd you do that? Why you did that? That boy made the greatest point I've heard in a while. And I've been listening to a lot of motherfuckers today. Motherfucking, I can just do what I did to Izzy to him. Take his ass down and leave him there. That's crazy.
And Izzy is 20 pounds lighter, but when it comes to this, who's the better kickboxer? Izzy's the better kick. Like he's the former kickboxing champion of the world. Like he's way better kickboxer than Megomed Ankalaev. I can't say way better, but there's levels to it, and Izzy's on a different level.
That's crazy. So that's a nice bet right there. Please, please put money on my boy Jan because Jan has a good chance. And he's coming to fight up, former champion. He has a 5-round experience. And his fight with Glover was close.
Yeah, it was. It was a good fight.
Yeah, so like he really is coming in. He feels like this belt should be his anyways. He feels like he would have beat the fuck out of Jiri. How sloppy Jiri, even Jiri agreed that he was fighting sloppy that fight. So I would take Jan, but I'm gonna just think we've been off on a lot. So let's go. I'm gonna take Ankalaev. But Jan as an underdog at 240 is major look. But sometimes Vegas knows something, man.
One thing, the reason why I was hating on this for the vacant belt, I know they kind of have to fight for it because they are next in line, was because Megomed's coming in here off of Anthony Smith's breaking his leg in his fight, and he gets the win. And then Jan's coming off of him beating Rocket, and Rocket was winning the fight, and he broke his leg, and Jan ends up winning that fight. So it's too late. I don't think this has ever happened in UFC before, where both people are coming off of wins where their opponent broke their leg in the fight. And now they're fighting for the vacant belt. Crazy. And now they're fighting for the vacant belt because the other guy Jiri broke something and needs surgery.
That's fucking crazy. Injuries is a motherfucker.
Yeah, but shout out to Jiri though, because he could have been a hoe, but he said, "Here, take the belt. I'm gonna get healthy. I'm gonna come back for it."
You think when he comes back, he's going straight for the belt, or he's gonna get a fight and then the belt?
I think that's gonna be up to Jiri because Dana White, I think, is going to do him a solid. I think because he's doing Dana White a solid by not holding things up, where when he comes back, Dana White's going to fuck with him and be like, are you good to go for the belt, right? Like, especially if Glover wins the belt, but you're ready for Glover, Jiri too. And then even whoever has the belt, but you want that off rip. And if he's like, no, I need one fight to get my body right, and then I want it. I feel like Dana's going to give him the option since he's did him a favor by giving up the belt like immediately from when it happened.
Yeah, that's actually fire as fuck. And then and it was perfect timing because even if you thought about it a little bit, this fight would have passed by. Or well, not fight would have passed by, it had to happen because they had to do it. But this fight would have passed by, but he said, nah, y'all can have it. So I respect that boy Jiri for that. And it would be a great card. I really hate when people is making it seem like it's lackluster.
No, people are hating. It's what do we call them? The casuals.
The casuals. I'm a casual. Don't get me wrong, but I at least listen to non-casuals talk about this shit.
Yeah, and a lot of casuals wouldn't even know people in the prelims. So I think you're good. So you're good.
Okay. I did know a few niggas, few individuals.
All right, Kev. I think we covered. We literally covered the card for everybody. We made our picks and everything.
But this was a fun card. It's gonna be a fun card to watch, man. I'm gonna try to watch the whole thing. I'm probably gonna fall asleep, wake up, and it's gonna be motherfucking in the card. But I'm also thinking about taking this one to Dave & Buster's, so that way I know I'll be awake. But it's gonna be that's a long time at Dave & Buster's. So I might watch the prelims at home and then watch the main card at Dave & Buster's.
All right, and just to double check with everything, run it down real quick for everyone that just skipped ahead to the end. Curtis, I got Chris Curtis. You got Joaquin Buckley. I got Rosenstrike. You got Chris Dawkins. We both got Raul Rosas Jr. I got Topuria. You got Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell. I got Darren Till. You got Duplessis. We both got Prozimbo. We both got Paddy. And then in the main event, I got Jan and you got Megomed.
That's crazy. I don't think you had this many disagreements before, but I feel like we don't usually cover this many fights.
It's been a minute, but like I said, we're covering this many fights, and we can't stress this at home for everyone listening and watching. This is gonna be a great ass card. Even for the fights we didn't name for the early prelims, tune in for those.
I did see a name or two on the early prelims, and I was like, that's crazy. What was that time? That's not 1 o'clock. So what time does this card start?
Early prelims, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Main card, 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Hey, man, that's UFC 282 for you, man. Where's it at?
We are going to Las Vegas T-Mobile Arena. Shout out my dad's friend. He's actually going to be there. He won tickets and free tickets, and he's going to be at this event.
Bruh, I'll do anything to go to an event in Vegas. But, hey, man, that's been the episode for you, man. This has been UFC 282 coming from the Totally Blitz Fight Club. You feel me? Make sure you drop a like and a comment. If not, don't forget to go fuck yourself. But in the meantime, we gonna let you know that this has been the Totally Blitz podcast. My name is Kev Waterboy Savoy, aka the Street Fight Enthusiast. We got Paul Picking Winner Concha, aka the Drunk Gambler Man. And this has been UFC 282 preview. Catch us on the picks. We got some boxing fights going on, and we always have the NFL going, man. And make sure you check that dashing young man right there on the Week 13 recap because that boy clean. And we'll catch you on the next one. But wait, I almost forgot to tell you that you's a bitch.
I got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you can call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes, this ain't not new.